I've got a few questions for you, okay?
Sure.
Our first question from Stacy Steves. How do you apply your techniques to the everyday pet owner?
Yeah. So nothing really changes. A dog's still a dog. The only thing that changes is the format and the energy. Because you can have a huge dog, you can have a small dog, you can have a low energy dog, you can have a high drive dog. Nothing changes about the principles that even if it's small, well, that means the parameter is always what do you want from this dog? If you say, for example, I want obedience, okay, but what criteria do you give to this obedience? Because there is like what people call basic obedience. And then I'm the first one to say, I'm sorry, guys, but you want basic obedience. Can you please tell me what basic obedience is? And they usually say, I want to stay, I want to come, and I want to walk off leash. Okay, let's go to that come, the recall. Did you mean a recall in the kitchen when you're holding his food and you're like, hey, Bobby, and he's coming for, is that kind of recall? Or are you talking about a recall when he's about to kill a rabbit or you want to go after a dog or run over the street? Is that type of recall you want? Because if that's the one you want, that's not pet training, guys. This is performance training as good as it comes. Because a recall is the pinnacle of a drive switch. Drive switches. Dog wants to attack and hunt or do whatever. He switches it into now, I'm going to go and do something with you. I'm going to move with you, whatever. It's a complete drive switch, visual switch. He was locked on target. He has to change his visuals back to you and come back to you. And movement also because he actually needs to finish in a position or else he'll come to you and you didn't grab him on time and he's away again. So you see, he needs to understand multiple components of what you just called basic obedience. So that's the problem is we call it now pet versus working dog. No, it's still dog. It's still dog. The potential is different of a working dog than a pet dog. But if you're talking about a pet dog recall, it's still a recall based on the same drives. Because why else would you train it then if it doesn't have instincts? It has instincts. It has the same instinct. It wants to do something. But instead of like killing the rabbit because the rabbit might be bigger than the dog, he might want to like go after a little mice, or I'm just saying, or whatever it is you have in mind. So just the setup changes a little bit, the equation changes a little bit, but the essence, the principles are not going to change because you just talk. And I'm just talking hypothetically into basic obedience as a recall. Maybe you see it differently, but anyways, the same principle is going to work. So for example, hear me out. Your pet, people want their pet to look at them. Why? Because they believe when the pet's focused on them, well, it's focused on nothing else, and therefore they have control. It is the false narrative the industry has given you over focus, handler focus, you're going to have more control. It's the opposite. If you let your dog, your pet, whatever the pet's interested in, yeah, and let's not just call it a pet, let's just call it like your Pomeranian, because I have some. If you have that Pomeranian look at the food that he wants, and you hold in the value, and he's having fun with you because you always hold the value and you let him get it and you let him do some things and he's not supposed to worry about you. And all of a sudden, you don't have it on you or you're waiting to get it, whatever. You get focus on you because he knows you represent the source that he wants. So it was never about you with having a pet. It was always about you facilitating what the dog wants or whatever breed it is. Anyways, I'm sorry I'm going to give a long answer, but I just want to make sure that people understand that I don't make a distinction between pet versus working dog in sense of principles. I make a distinction in potential. If you tell me, look, I'm going to do personal protection with this cute little lab here who's wagging his tail more than anything and who just holds something, retrieves something, like with slightly pressure because he's like built like that. You can't just change the DNA of the dog. That dog's not just going to kill people. And if you would let him do that, that would be totally wrong. It wouldn't work. It is also like the B level. You have to respect the B level also on what the dog's true instincts give him. That doesn't mean you can't go out the box, but you shouldn't like be completely changing everything because you want to. Then get a dog that is able to do these things naturally more, so you can dive into his potential more.